Hi everyone, Jesse here with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at and I'll show you how to install the Blue Ox custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2025 Toyota RAV4. The RAV4 is a very popular car. It's also very practical, but it's always nice to be able to add some extra storage space to the outside of the vehicle, and adding a hitch allows you to do that. Once you have this hitch on, you can install things like cargo carriers or bike racks and even do some light duty towing. Here's a closer look at our hitch installed on our neighbor's vehicle. As you can see, the crossbeams are just a tiny bit visible, but you won't really be able to see that if you're standing up behind it. All you'll be able to see is the 2" by 2" receiver opening with that nice flat black paint finish. With that receiver opening, we also have a 5/8" pinhole for your pin and clip. The pin and clip don't come included with the hitch, however we have many options available here at eTrailer, and most accessories will come with one included. And we have a nice sturdy safety cable loop here. Pretty easy to get any style safety cable you might have. For example, this large clevis, or even S-style like this. Now for some measurements for our ground clearance. From the ground to the top of the inside of the collar is just over 11 inches. It is kind of on the low side, so any accessory that I add on, I would look for one with a slight rise to it. Then from the center of the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is about 5.5 inches. You want to keep that in mind for any folding accessory that you might add on to ensure it doesn't make contact with the vehicle. As for the weight capacities on this hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 4,500 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle. And then we have a maximum tongue weight of 675 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. You do have the option to use weight distribution with this hitch, however those numbers will stay the same. And also always be sure to double check your Toyota's owner's manual to ensure that your RAV4 can handle that weight safely. All in all, if you're looking to add a hitch onto your RAV4, you really can't go wrong with this Blue Ox hitch. I really like the flat black paint finish on it and the way it looks on the back of our RAV4. As for the installation, you do have to lower the exhaust, and then some bolts are in a pretty tight spot over on the passenger side. So if it's not something that you're looking to do yourself, maybe you don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. If you are looking to get this set up yourself, then just follow along and I'll walk you through the process. Also, if you've installed this yourself and maybe you just want to share some tips or tricks with us, please feel free to leave a review or a comment. Our first step of our installation will be to lower our exhaust down. So on both sides, on the rear, we'll have this style hanger where we can just take a 12mm socket and remove the bolts. One thing to note is before we get this exhaust lowered down, just make sure you have something supporting it, like this cam strap here. If you're working on the ground, you could just use a jack stand or something like that. But we'll move over to the other side. We have 2 more 12mm bolts. With those 2 hangers dropped down, we can move forward to our center rubber hanger here. You could just use a pry bar to get some leverage to pry against it, but I have this exhaust hanger tool here. It makes it a little easier. I did spray some soapy water also. That'll help the rubber slide. But we'll get that dropped down and we can lower it down with our cam strap if we need to. So our 2 weld nuts that our hitch is mounting to are actually up here on our frame rail, hidden behind these stickers. So let's peel those stickers off. You might be able to get your fingernail under them. We'll pop both those off. There will be a matching set on the other side of the car. Also helps to have a flathead screwdriver to get this started. We'll get those peeled off, and our car's pretty new, so we don't really have much dirt or debris, but down the years, you might actually get some dirt or debris up behind those stickers. So I just take a wire brush, run it in and out of all of the holes, and then I'll also run my hardware in just to make sure that it's threading in smoothly. That way, when we're holding the hitch up, we don't have to worry about fighting threads. get that ran in and out. Ours are nice and smooth, but while I have our hardware here, I'll just explain how this will get installed. We'll have the conical tooth washer with these teeth facing towards the hitch, and we'll have a bolt on the front and the back hole. On our passenger side, we have this tow hook here that's going to interfere with our hitch. So we'll remove it. There's two 17mm bolts holding it up. We'll get those popped out. And this will not be reinstalled. Now I recommend having an extra set of hands. I have my great buddy Dan here to help me out. Let's lift this up above our exhaust. Get it positioned with the holes lined up. And we'll get one of these bolts started on both sides. So when we got our bolts hand tightened in, I kind of noticed there's a large gap from the hitch to the side of the frame rail. And in the instructions in the diagram, they have these slid between the hitch and the side rail or the frame rail. Doesn't mention it anywhere in the actual instructions, but what I'll do is it would probably be easier to just use some painter's tape or something. So when you lift it up, you just have these in place. But since it's already up, what I'll do is just go one by one, unthread the bolts, slide this in between the hitch and the frame rail, just to kind of tighten that gap. Now we can get everything snugged down. On the driver's side, you can just use a ratchet and a 19mm socket. On the passenger side, once again, it is very tight, so it's really nice to have a long ratcheting wrench like this. But once again, they're 19mm. We'll get these snugged down. Now we need to torque down all of our hardware to the specification listed in the instructions. If you don't have your own torque wrench, we do have some available here at eTrailer. You could also rent one from your local auto parts store. Another thing you'll probably need is a crow's foot or something similar to be able to torque the passenger side bolts. This crow's foot will allow me to reach them. One more thing that is optional if you're choosing to add on wiring with your hitch, Blue Ox includes this nice bracket. These two holes will mount to the hitch, and then this is where you would mount either your 4-pole or your 7-pole wiring bracket. But it's really easy to do. There's two holes right here that are threaded, and you'll take the included bolts, get those threaded in and tightened down with a 10mm socket. Our neighbor is actually opting to not use any wiring, so we're just going to give this to them in case they change their mind later. All that's left is to get your exhaust hung back up. Otherwise, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the Blue Ox custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2025 Toyota RAV4.